got me started was I had a friend of mine who was diagnosed with cancer. He had cancer. He eventually died of cancer. And he had this idea, this dream that he wanted to give kids from inner city schools music lessons. We would have fun talking about this concept, this dream of his. And after he died, there was a group of us who got together to raise money for the John Lidgy Music Foundation. We could raise the money, but we had no idea how to get into the school systems to convince them to give these kids lessons. So Astrid Hepner approached me one day to see if we would sponsor another event that she was holding. I mentioned this concept to her. About 4 or 5 months later, Astrid came back and she says, Paul, she says, you know, I've been doing some research. There's an organization that does exactly what you're talking about. And she just took it from there.
Okay, one more. So you can pick any key. AIFEC was founded in 2009 and it's based on a very inspiring musical program from Venezuela, which is called El Sistema. And El Sistema was initiated in the 70s. And it now teaches music to hundreds of thousands of the nation's poorest children. And it really demonstrates in a beautiful way the power that music has to transform the life of a nation's youth and at the same time also the communities around them. And it looked like a great model that could actually work in our community. And what I particularly liked about this program is that it takes place in the elementary school system, because that in itself guarantees that we have the potential to reach all children, and that's what our program is about.
Currently, if a child wants to learn how to play an instrument, they can, through the school system, wait until grade 5, at which point they will be given an instrument to play. If the child otherwise wants to learn an instrument before that, it's in the hands of the parent. And there's all kinds of reasons why a parent may not be able to provide that opportunity. Anything from time, money, or even realizing that this might be a good thing for their child.
And here kids want to play, but the parents cannot afford it. So it's just so extremely important that there's a program like that where parents don't have to worry, kids have fun, and they feel special.
Is a huge benefit to children right across the city. Still in its early stages with 5 or 6 schools involved at this point. I understand the long-term vision is 10 to 20 schools, or if not more, all the schools, I guess, in a perfect world right across Hamilton.
Unfortunately, we still have some pockets here in Ward 2 where it would be impossible, unfortunately, for some families to just attain an instrument on their own. And so to offer a program, one that's vastly growing, like An Instrument for Every Child, it's key, particularly here for Ward 2. I can guess that some of the kids at this very school, Dr. Davey, will one day inspire to be part of the Hamilton Philharmonic Orchestra, and who knows, maybe beyond.
To give them the opportunity to try it out and see if it ignites a spark. Arts and the creativity that comes with it can open up so many doors for people in the exploration of the world and the exploration of themselves.
I think it's really important to introduce music to children at a young age and really see what they take to. And I think if you don't give them the options or just the possibilities of what music can bring, then they'll never experience it.
It's a 4-year program which starts in grade 1 and ends in grade 4. In grade 1 we start with a so-called AIFEC class, which means that we bring our AIFEC instructor into the classroom, who then teaches in tandem with the classroom teacher. And this is actually it's a great teaching method, because there's a synergy between these two instructors, because we have on one side the musically skilled artist And on the other side, we have the teacher who has the tools such as classroom control. So they both really benefit from each other, and it's what the school calls capacity building. They basically learn from each other. The most important component of the first year is to introduce the students to a variety of musical instruments.
Okay, first I will play that same scale we just did. Okay, so you can sing with me. So 1, 2, 3, start. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
And we do this by actually using musicians from the community, and they could be students, they could be McMaster students, Morg students. We had people from the HBO visiting the classroom. And this gives our students an opportunity to learn about the instruments, touch the instruments, try the instruments. And the point here is that by the end of this year, they actually can make a decision, and that would be an informed decision as to what kind of instrument they want to play in grade 2.
Because they've seen all these instruments throughout the school year. They've heard what they sound like, they've touched them, they've learned about them. They know if it's a string instrument, a woodwind instrument, how it works, and they're excited about it.
So come grade 2, these children will start actually to receive weekly musical instrumental lessons. And we provide them instruments on a free loan basis. And this is actually the part where it gets really interesting for them. They have instrumental instruction in small groups, and we're now working on a very important component, which is ensemble play, because that's what music is all about. It's about the playing together. So this will then eventually happen in grade 3. There will be ensembles, which will give these children the opportunity to apply what they've learned and to play together.
These days, there's gaming consoles and cell phones and personal MP3 players and things. Everybody thinks that music is just something you watch, something you listen to, not something you actually do. So an instrument program like An Instrument for Every Child shows kids that this is something you do. It's not just something you listen to. It's something that you can actually do.
It develops discipline, the patience, the ability to go at something and fail and come back to it and try again and gradually master a skill.
Expression and that feeling, that euphoric natural high that playing an instrument can bring a child.
It feels really good. I think for me, there's nothing more powerful than accomplishing the act of like writing a song or learning how to play someone else's song.
They say the practice of your logical side of your brain is very much emphasized by the things that you practice. So if you're practicing math, apparently that side of the brain is very much the same, the left, as what you would do for music.
If you have some artistic talents, or if you have some musical talents, they might never be discovered. For me, it's about building self-esteem in these young kids.
And this is why I'm really moved by the commitment of the people participating in this program and the people that support this program. They have the foresight to see that we're going to lose a generation of kids unless somebody steps up.
I would like to quote a statement by a Sistema founder, José Antonio Abreu, which beautifully expresses the power of music. The huge spiritual world that music produces in itself ends up overcoming material poverty. From the minute a child's taught how to play an instrument, he's no longer poor. He becomes a child in progress, heading for a professional level, who will later become a citizen.